Welcome to the Sports Podcast. This is episode 7. Today, I'll talk about college football's week 4 and all the great games that occurred in there. Not many marquee matchups this week, but I think the week made up for it. A lot of entertaining games. Let's review the games. Which teams won? Which teams lost? There's really one game I really want to point out. Thursday, West Virginia beats Virginia Tech 33-10. Both teams are 6-6 at best. They're not good. The Friday, Syracuse improves to 4-0, but I believe Syracuse. I think Syracuse is the worst undefeated team right now. They will drop a game. Like it's inevitable. Now we get to the top 25. Georgia kind of had a letdown game. Georgia did not look sharp. They look a little bit sloppy at times, but they did win 39-22 against Kent State. Georgia has got to clean. The turnovers got to get cleaned up. You can't allow big plays. I don't. This is not the new standard of Georgia. They're going to, I believe, Kirby Smart will get some things cleaned up after that game just wasn't impressive. Alabama crushed Vandy 55-3. Alabama just dominated at any front that you can imagine. They absolutely beat the soul out of Vandy. Ohio State absolutely obliterated Wisconsin. Wisconsin does not look good this year. And I think this confirmed that C.J. Stroud was dotting them up. Travion Henderson and Mike Williams were running up and down the throats. Just a dominating win by Ohio State. Absolutely crushed Wisconsin. Michigan kind of had a little bit of a close one against Maryland, but they did pull it out 34-27. J.J. McCarthy played solid. Blake Corum absolutely ran wild. And really, it was a close win, but you got the win. It was your first game against a Power 5 opponent. Had Maryland. Maryland is not trash. Maryland is not that great, but they're not garbage either. So there was potential to be a close game. It was, but Michigan, they pulled it out, got the dub. Clemson traveling to Wake Forest. This one was close. When I mean close, I mean a shootout. DJ Ugalawe, or we're going to call him Ugalawe. All right. He really played his best game since the 2020 Notre Dame game. And I think that is huge for Clemson. Now you can at least know your offense looks solid, and that defense literally doesn't have to carry that team. Clemson's defense did not play too good. Sam Hartman he threw 6 touchdown passes. Clemson managed to win in overtime, 51-45. But Clemson seems to be heading in the right direction. Their offense seems well capable enough. Just if the defense can clean some errors, that'll help. Kansas State is just ruling Oklahoma at this point. Oklahoma, they did not play sharp. Their offense, they showed their flashes, but a lot of pre-snap penalties kind of doomed them in. They lost 41-34. Oh my gosh. As a Sooner fan, this was not fun to watch. Blake Martinez, not Blake Martinez. Why am I thinking that former Giants linebacker, Andrew Martinez, the same guy who couldn't do a goddamn thing in Nebraska, threw and ran all over the field, along with Deuce Vaughn. That we were getting grounded, we're getting pounded by the throat. The defense got gashed. Though the defense, in my opinion, has still showed some good improvement. If the defense is really gonna stay consistent, I think it's a recruiting class or two away. Just because you have great coaching, you still need talent. And Oklahoma's defense does not have that talent just yet. But luckily, Brent Venables is a defensive guy, so he will recruit some defensive players much better than Lincoln Riley did. So this should. So I don't think defense is a long-term problem. I think it's just a short-term because it's just his first year, and just the talent is just not there. USC hangs on barely to beat Oregon State 17-14. Oregon State, I knew they weren't a terrible team, but I was a little bit of disappointed with USC. They did not look good. Caleb Williams played the worst game of the season, but USC did hang on. They won, and they're 4-0. Kentucky's 4-0. My opinion did look impressive doing it. Will Levis did play great, but I just have a problem barely being a team of Northern Illinois. Kentucky's got to, they really got to make some adjustments and improvements. A&M beats Arkansas. This is a huge win for A&M, and really, it's a huge win for one person, Max Johnson. Max Johnson has shown that hey, I could be the stable of the offense as of right now. If I'm the quarterback of this offense, we can make some things happen. And they won. The A&M defense, which is elite, they did enough, and they won the game. Arkansas did try to come back, but they ended up missing a few game-winning field goals. So A&M improves to 3-1. Arkansas drops their first loss. Tennessee, they beat Florida. Why is this a development? Because Tennessee has been nothing but relentless of self-destruction for the last 20 years. This is their first 4-0 start since 2016. Hendon Hooker looked absolutely amazing, throwing and running the football. Anthony Richardson, he did okay, but it wasn't enough. So Tennessee won 38-33. They start 4-0 for the first time since 2016. NC State blew out UConn. Arkansas beat Arizona State. Penn State beat Central Michigan. Oregon managed to come back and beat Washington State. They were trailing much in the game until the fourth quarter. I believe they scored like 3 touchdowns in 3 minutes. So Oregon won 44-41. Ole Miss, they won. I don't think they looked impressive doing it. You cannot get away with barely beating Tulsa 35-27. That defense has got to adjust. The offense didn't score a single point in the second half for Ole Miss. They got to clean some things up. Baylor beats Iowa State 31-24. That's a huge win for Baylor. Good, started to really bounce back after that loss to BYU. Washington looks really good. They're in a 4-0 start. They're jumping high, flying, beating up on Stanford 40-22. BYU beats Wyoming 38-24. The Texas Shorehorns. Yes, that's right. They're the Shorehorns. Congratulations. Y'all lost to the Red Lake Raiders 37-34 in overtime. Why are you not this good? Well, easy. You're injured to literal hell. Quarterback's gone. Your best O-line's gone. Your wide receiver number 2 is gone. In Texas, what is a defense? Good God. Pitt, they're 3-1. The embarrassment of the day goes to Miami. Losing to Middle Tennessee. That's not good. Their starting quarterback, Miami's starting quarterback, gets benched. I almost forgot his name. Tyler Van Dyke. There was a lot of hype surrounding with Tyler Van Dyke. So far, hasn't looked too good, and just not a good loss to have. You cannot be losing Middle Tennessee. That's not good. Auburn does not look good either. Congratulations, you beat Missouri in overtime. They're terrible. You're not making a bowl game this year. Sorry. Mississippi State bounces back. They're 3-1. They beat Bowling Green. TCU has a good 3-0 start. They won in a shootout with SMU. Hey, Kansas is 4-0. Congrats. They beat Duke 35-27. Kansas actually looks like a good-ass team now. Lance Leipold. His last name's got difficult to pronounce, but the Kansas head coach Lance Leipold, getting the team going. Kansas is like their first 4-0 start since I believe 2009. That was the last time Kansas has made a bowl game. Was 2009, 2008. 2008, that was their last bowl appearance. UCLA, they jumpstart to 4-0 as well. They crushed Colorado. North Carolina defense, congratulations. The North Carolina's defense is so bad that Notre Dame could score 45 points. You're awful. And I think I found a team that will come out of the Big Ten West, and that's Minnesota. They're 4-0. They spanked Michigan State. Tanner Morgan literally he had 3 touchdowns. That was the same amount of incompletions he threw. Very efficient throwing the football. Mohamed Ibrahim, he running up and down the throats all season long. Just a dominating win by Minnesota. I think Minnesota is the team to beat in the Big Ten West. And here's why. Iowa's not good this year. Like, their defense is good, but their offense is so bad, Minnesota can beat these guys. Wisconsin, they self-destructed. Purdue is going Purdue mode. They self-destructed. I think Minnesota's going to come out and I think win the Big Ten West. IU drops their first game. They lost to Cincinnati 45-24. James Madison starts 3-0 in their first FBS season. They beat App State. Georgia Tech is still terrible. What's a shocking development? Cal starts 3-1. They beat Arizona, but come on, Arizona is just terrible. Hey, Iowa, congratulations. You scored more than 20 points. Unfortunately, the 2 scores were your defense. Yay. Iowa, you're not that good. Congratulations. You beat a team called Rutgers. You're still bad. LSU shut out New Mexico 38-0. Northwestern is the worst team in the Big Ten. They lost to Miami, Ohio. Purdue barely beats Florida Atlantic. Florida State starts 4-0. They crushed Boston College 44-14. Absolutely crushed them. So that's it for week 4. Let's react to some of these rankings. Georgia stays at 1, Alabama stays at 2. The top 5 doesn't change. But what changes is after this. USC jumps to 6, Kentucky jumps to 7, Tennessee jumps to 8, Oklahoma State stays at 9, NC State's 10, Penn State's 11, Utah I would rather Utah's 12, Oregon's 13. I would flip-flop that. I think Oregon's better than Utah. Even though Utah blew them out twice last year, I think Oregon's the better team as of right now. Ole Miss jumps 2 spots. They're 14th. Washington's at 15th. Baylor is at 16th. Texas A&M jumps to 17th. Oklahoma makes the most drastic move, which is they drop 12 spots from 6th to 18th. BYU stays at 19th. Arkansas drops to 20th. Minnesota appears on the rankings for the first time. They're ranked 21. Wake Forest is 22. Florida State's 23. They got their ranking for the first time. Pitt State's the same, 24. And Kansas State makes their first appearance in the top 25. So if there wasn't that many marquee matchups last week, this week there will be some good matchups. Let's start with the Friday game. Washington travels to UCLA. That can be a great game. Both teams are 4-0. If Washington wins this will be their biggest win, the most impactful win, more than the Michigan State game because Michigan State's not good. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Man, the Pac-12's been good this year. Gosh. Michigan travels to Iowa. I think what I predict is this game will be close in halftime, but Michigan will run away in the second half. Iowa's offense is literal puke. Kentucky travels to Oxford. They'll face Ole Miss. That game could go either way. Both teams did not impress anyone last week. So this really has an even matchup. Who executes better is going to win. I think that's how we can say about that game. Oklahoma travels to TCU. TCU ain't no gimme. TCU's 3-0. Oklahoma's going to have to play much better, much more efficient. Their defense better be able to stop a run if they want a chance to run it back to the playoffs, which is going to be extremely difficult. I believe Oklahoma's going to drop 2 this year again. And I think losing to Kansas State just makes it more obvious. So I'm not going to be too optimistic about Oklahoma. But they got to bounce back against TCU. Purdue will get blown out, but they travel to Minnesota. They'll get blown out. They'll get obliterated. Minnesota is so good this year. Purdue could drop 24 points and they'll still get blown out. Texas Tech, they'll face Kansas State. Which of those 3-1 teams jump to 4-1? Oregon State travels to Utah. We'll see if Oregon State can try to knock someone else off. They didn't knock USC off. Let's see if they can knock Utah off. Alabama travels to Arkansas. I don't think Alabama should have any problems. Rutgers faces Ohio State. Ohio State should have no trouble. Oklahoma State will go to Waco to face Baylor. That could be a very good game. Northwestern Penn State. Let's ignore that. That's not going to be a contest. Wake Forest goes to Tallahassee to face Florida State. Can Florida State go to 5-0? This is their biggest test. This is a Wake Forest offense that can pour in points. So Florida State's offense is going to have to play the best they played all year to beat Wake Forest. Texas A&M, they'll face Mississippi State. I think what potential to be the game. They put these night games. They put the night game right this time. The 8 o'clock game. They got it right this time. NC State versus Clemson. Both teams 4-0. The winner is going to really put their playoff hopes into their hands, into their grasps. This is a must-win game from both teams. Georgia Tech against Pitt, that's nothing. And really not any other game. That's all that too impactful. Let's see the other non-top 25 matchups. Let's see if any are worth a damn thing. Illinois 3-1, they face Wisconsin. Wisconsin should bounce back and win that. Iowa State plays Kansas. We'll see what Kansas does. Maybe they can start 5-0. We'll see. Syracuse will improve to 5-0. They play Wagner. They're awful. LSU plays Auburn. I think LSU is going to beat Auburn up. Auburn is not good this year. West Virginia plays Texas. IU plays the school of implosion, which is Nebraska. So that's it for your week 4. And that's my predictions of not predictions, but highlight the top games of week 5. So that'll be it for this one, and thanks for watching.